Hello. A frog in the well does not know the ocean. Even monkeys fall from trees, and the nail that sticks up gets hammered down. Gav, you look at me as if I've lost my marbles here.
Aye,
It's
you have.
Japanese proverbs. We've got the Japan game this weekend.
Oh,
So I've been swatting up because, as you know, I like to wee bit of colour in my match reports, and so I've been swatting up my Japanese proverbs. Do you know any
God,
Japanese proverbs?
no, I was going to say, what was your great one? Did you not have a great one before about the train?
Oh, if you miss your station, go off at the next available
Oh,
step because the journey back was more expensive. Something like
some,
that.
I remember
Yeah,
that now.
basically means don't keep going down a path.
That's
It's the
right,
wrong path.
that's right.
Yeah, yeah,
We'll
yeah.
need to,
Oh, I'm a huge fan of my Japanese proverbs, so you might see a few in
we'll
the
need
in
to
the,
find that
the
one.
Daily Record this weekend and next week. But anyway, listen, welcome to Game On. More importantly, your weekly rapid fire hot take podcast from Record Sport. I'm at Gannon, Gavin Berry. First up, before you get me in trouble, big shout out to our brilliant sponsors, NordVPN.
Yep.
NordVPN provides you with privacy online, leaving no digital footprint by hiding your IP address. It's like wearing an invisibility cloak online.
I downloaded it this week, genuinely.
Did you?
I needed it.
It's a much needed bit of kit these days, I think. As I told you before, it's great for looking for flights for abroad and all that stuff because we get
Yeah,
done in this country. So you put in another country and you go and try and get flights, your budget
yeah.
airlines and all that stuff. It's a good way of you're a man that likes a
Right.
bargain.
Oh, I know. I've used it for a wee trick for my holiday this year.
Yeah.
I don't want to give the game away right off.
Listen,
There you go. If you get on the wrong train, get off at the nearest station. The longer it takes you to get off, the more expensive the return trip will be.
how good is that
There
one?
you go.
I must admit, I'm a big fan of my Japanese
Yeah, good
proverbs.
memory, Michael.
Aye, I'm glad you're listening. Listen, there's another one. Silence is golden, but it makes a rubbish podcast. So we'll not ignore that one. We'll kick off. Before we start looking forward, we'll go back to last weekend. Celtic dropping points at Tannadice. A
Yeah.
lot happened. You had the pitch and the performance and the ramifications with the title. There's also a bit of stick for the captain, Callum McGregor.
Yeah.
I mean, coming back for injury, racing back as always to take the team, getting pelters from some fans.
Yeah.
Is that justified?
Bit of a poor pass to Atati, wasn't it? The first
He
goal.
sold him short for
He did.
the goal, didn't he? But
Hospital ball.
yeah, but yeah. What do you think? Is that justified criticising Callum
Well,
McGregor?
I think the problem is, Michael, if Celtic fans criticise Callum McGregor right away, everybody's on the back. Oh, you can't criticise Callum McGregor. Look what he's done. I think you've got to, differentiate here between what he has done, what he's achieved, and what he's doing now. I don't think it's unreasonable to say that he's not playing at his best. He's not influencing games the way he has in the past. That, and if we want to go further and look ahead to next season, what is his role in the team? Is he going to lead a new era? Is he going to be a bit part player? Should he be an automatic pick? I think
what are the answers to these questions?
I think they're all fair and relevant questions. I am not entirely sure that Cal McGregor should necessarily be a first pick right now. I think the problem is Martin Neal's so short on options. He's got injuries to players like Arnie Engels and others. So that's part of the problem. And Cal McGregor, as you say, has been carrying an injury, so he's not fully fit. He's playing on that pitch. And listen, he might argue and say, look what I've got around me. Maybe that's dragging his performances down.
I would argue that Callum McGregor is helping to keep this Celtic team in the title race. I don't think he's helped by the way they've been playing this season. I think Celtic's performances and displays and game plans is all muddled up between three managers and different coaches and disjointed. They're going long. They're doing this thing. It's not playing to his strengths.
No.
But I don't think he can be blamed for any of what's happened this year. I think he is one of the reasons why they're still in the title race.
Yeah.
I think in the whole myriad of problems at Celtic this season, he is right at the bottom of the list. I think he's played 50 games this season again.
Yeah.
People talk about his fitness. He's missing the odd game here and there. It's next to nothing. I think he is still the driving force.
Yeah.
I think he'll go down as one of the greatest ever captains of the club, also most decorated.
Yeah.
And I think he's still got more in the tank as well.
Yeah.
I think writing him off is absolutely madness.
Listen, Scott Brown's the same. He went down as one of the greatest ever captains of Celtic, but we can't deny that in his final season, he stayed on too long.
But at 32, people were questioning Scott Brown.
He did, and he came roaring back.
Brendan Rodgers came out, people said that Scott Brown was finished,
correct.
and he had a renaissance in another 2 or 3 years when he was at absolute peak level.
True.
And I would expect similar from Callum McGregor.
You think?
Yeah,
so you think in the summer a reboot, and then he'll be part of it,
any new manager will come in the door and will say, this is a magnificent captain and a fantastic football player to make his team tick. We'll build around him for the next year at least.
Interesting.
I think so. He's 33 in the summer.
Yeah.
But I think he's another season at the top, very, very top, no problem. No problem. He's the fittest guy. He's the fittest guy in Scottish football.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like it.
Anyway, that weekend, still on that weekend, in a roundabout kind of way. What about the Tannadice pitch? Look at the back of my head. It's so bare.
It was bad.
I'm glad these headphones are on, actually.
It was bad. It was better than it was.
Keep my hairpiece in place.
It was better than it was for the Dundee United game against, was it St Mirren? I think. Was it St Mirren or was it Aberdeen? Aberdeen. There was a couple of...
Weirdly, I think it was better that game because it was wet. It was dry as a bone. Weekend. It was dry as a bone. It's funny after the game that they turned the sprinklers on. And you're like, oh god. But it was embarrassing. This is a game that's going out on nationwide TV. As the title race has been filming, the world are tuning in. The whole world is watching us, Gavin. And this is what we're presenting. Should teams be docked points for the state of their pitch?
I think it's an interesting one. I think a couple of years ago, Bonnie Rick Rose were actually docked points, but that was more to do with the gradient of the pitch as opposed to the actual state of it.
Yeah.
It has happened.
Tannadice has also got a gradient.
Yeah. It must be something to do with the weather up there, because remember Dens Park a couple of years ago, remember it was three times Dens, and there was calls then for them to be...
What difference is Dens Park now? Across the road at the weekend was looking resplendent. 500 yards away. So they've invested in their pitch, spent money that they could have spent on players. But Dundee United have spent a lot of money on players.
Remember Motherwell did the same, I think. Motherwell did the same, so there was that argument.
So where's the incentive to spend money on your pitch? And you think, well, I can go and get myself 2 strikers rather than spend 500 grand on the pitch. Whereas Dundee's pitch has got money spent on it. Now looks the business, looks like Bowling Green, and Dundee United's got that. I think you have to look at fines, maybe not points, but fines and sanctions.
And I can beat Celtic on it. It's an advantage.
I think if you get the pitches in that state on a Friday afternoon, someone should go up there and look at the pitch and go, you know what, that is not acceptable. Well, you're for forfeit home advantage, you play it. Away from home.
I've got a good idea. What about plastic pitch?
People slag him off.
That's what I'm saying. I'm joking, but I mean, we talk about the plastic pitches being. Obviously, they're now going to be outlawed in the Premiership. And
so this is becoming even more prevalent.
That was the argument of guys like Davy Martindale at the team. That's what they used to say. The plastic pitch is better than some of the pitches, and it used to always be, well, I'd rather play in a bad grass pitch than a good Astro. But
I wasn't like, well, there's no grass in the pitch.
I know, but that's taking it to the extreme. I know in cricket, actually, teams were docked points for poor pitches, and I looked at I think it was down here, Hampshire and Somerset, both docked points for poor pitches. But the argument, certainly of one of the clubs, was that basically they had done everything in their power, and it was out with their control. So that's where it becomes tricky. It's a bit like when we talk about fans and strict liability. So they go into all that. It's like, we've done everything we can. We can't then, control, some band running on the pitch. The weather. So how do you? Is it fair to then dock points if clubs say, look, we've done everything. We brought in this company. We paid them a fortune. But look,
is it fair that Motherwell and Dundee have spent money in the pitch sorting it out, and they can't go and spend 500 grand on a player because they haven't done that? So you've got to be fair. I think fines or forfeiting home advantage could be the way to do it.
Yeah, certainly fines. I mean, docking points it's quite an extreme measure. To dock points.
It's not going to happen, but it's worth talking about anyway.
You just want to make mischief?
Well, that's what we're here to do. Gav, this is the nature of the business.
Okay.
Certainly on Game On. Speaking more mischief.
Well,
SPFL fixtures are on the horizon. 2 games to the splat.
I love that period. The top 6 is almost, decided. It's pretty much, barring a freak couple of results, it looks as if we know what it's going to be, and everybody's going to. I've got a wedding that day. I've got a birthday party that day. When will that Old Firm game? When will the Edinburgh Derby be?
Well, more important, we've got a league that now think the SPFL computer will throw it up, I think. But you can play certain games in certain. I mean, the time. We're the only country in the world that gets to choose our post-split fixtures, or not the only country, one of the few countries get to choose our fixtures and then actively avoid having title deciders.
I know.
So, how are you fixing this?
Well,
a last day showdown, there are people saying it looks like it might be likely. Hearts Rangers last game of the season.
Yeah. Well,
do we go for that?
I think you have to. I mean, you say actively avoiding title deciders, actively avoiding Old Firm title deciders, which they kind of vowed way back after the original shame game.
And this year, you're going to get the added aspect of another team.
Yeah. So I think there is no reason to avoid a potential title decider, as you say, as it stands. Rangers are Hearts and Rangers are 1 and 2 in the table. Rangers are due to go to Tynecastle. We know that Rangers have 3 away games after the split and 2 home games, so they'll almost certainly be away on the final day, unless they somehow got the split top of the table. Usually the team going in top gets a home game. So if Hearts are top and Rangers are due to go there, Hearts are due their home game because they're top, and Rangers are due to go there. Why would you not make it the last game of the season? It would bring back memories of Rangers and Aberdeen going head-to-head, 1991. That's the last time 2 teams going for the title on the last day. A shootout. What an opportunity.
Yeah.
Now, I suppose the only risk you've got is if Hearts somehow were to win the league before the end of the season, before the last game, you're then making that game redundant.
Yeah.
You would be losing.
There's always going to be that risk, isn't there?
There's always that risk. You'll be losing something. But I think given how tight the table is and the way the season has been going, you would take your chances, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think
surely.
Of course you would. I think you would. Excuse me. This is going to throw up some. The post-split fixtures are going to be so fascinating because there's so many scenarios that could unfold.
Yeah.
What happens if, Celtic now slipped behind? What happens if it's Celtic against Hibs at Celtic Park on the last, or Easter Road, isn't it?
I'm trying to think.
It will be. Celtic will play against Hearts and Rangers at home. Plus,
I think Celtic will get 3 at home.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll get 3 at home.
But either way, whether it is, so it's Hibs against Celtic last day of the season.
Yeah.
And Celtic Hibs win could hand the title to Hearts.
Oh, I know.
So are Hibs going to be going all out to beat Celtic the last day? But then if Celtic don't win, they could hand the title to Rangers and all that. So it's like, it's going to be absolutely brilliant. It's going to be people's heads are going to be in the shed after the split drop. The teams pictures come out. It's going to be brilliant, isn't it?
But one of the reasons Rangers are firmly in this title race, Michael, is because of Mikey Moore, another good performance and a goal in the win against Aberdeen last week. And then he was asked after the game about returning next season, possibly for another loan.
He was asked. He was the teeth pulled out. The boys did about 10 questions, trying to get him to commit to it.
Yeah.
It was great. Great journalism watching the boys.
Well, what are the chances then of Mikey Moore being back at Rangers next season? Do you think?
Slim.
Yeah.
In reality, I think it's slim. I think he's made the most of his loan spell. I think at a slow start, it wasn't really hitting the ground. Didn't really hit the ground running.
He's young, remember?
He was, teenage. I mean, good talent, obviously, but second half of the season, he's really come onto a game. It depends on what happens with Spurs. It depends what division Spurs are going to be in.
Well, that's a big factor.
That could come into play.
If they go into the Championship, get relegated, they're going to keep Mikey Moore, aren't they?
You would think so. You would think so.
He's the kind of guy that's going to get him back out. You would no.
I don't think he's a Championship player. I think if you're.
Do you think he's more likely to stay if they stay in the Premier League? Then do you think?
No, but I think he might get another loan spell, but you might get a loan spell
in the Championship. No, not in the Championship.
No. I think maybe I think they want to get him ready for the Premier League in England.
Right.
So maybe a Premier League team in England somewhere, or perhaps even a little spell abroad.
Right.
I think would do him good.
Yeah.
I just think that he'll have done his year with at Rangers in Scotland, and the pressure comes with that. That'll stand him in good stead for his future, because having that pressure and demand on a weekly basis, and he's delivered in second of the season, so that'll be good for him. But you look at his career progression, with maybe a loan spell in Spain or Germany or somewhere in the English Premier League.
Yeah.
I just think if you're plotting his path, this kid's going to go to the top and going to become a regular. But what experiences can he get? I don't think Rangers could buy him.
Oh no,
that's not going to happen.
No.
So you look at another loan spell. Would it benefit him? If I'm advising him, would it benefit him another year at Rangers? Maybe. But I would think, if I'm the kind of, now you got these titles now, the loans manager and the development manager and all these things, I'd be thinking a year in Spain, a year in Germany, maybe a year in Italy or something. Maybe not Italy. The Italian football's slightly different these days.
Yeah.
But going and broaden your horizons.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be a top class Premier League player in England.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I just can't see them given the green light for another spell in Scotland.
You say he couldn't afford, unlikely to be able to afford them, so do you think he would cost that much more than Scov Olsen? I mean, I'm not saying they're going to buy Scov Olsen,
You're
but
not getting...
couldn't they know what you talking? Do you think for Mikey Moore?
Scov Olsen's 24, 25. He's got a pedigree behind him.
Yeah.
But his ceiling is not as high as Mikey Moore's. Mikey Moore's ceiling could be, look at the market in England.
Yeah.
For a kid of that age with his ability and his potential, you pay a premium.
Yeah.
You pay a premium. I mean, you look at the fees involved, and you're talking, for that kind of level of potential in England, you're talking 20, 25 million quid. And that's a minimum, by the way.
Yeah.
You look at, I mean, talking Ben Gannon Dokes fees and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think you don't get them for 7, 8 million quid.
Yeah.
You get them for 18, 19, 25 million.
Yeah, okay.
So I think it's beyond Rangers for that kind of level.
Off the park, Michael, Rangers, during a kind of meeting with the fan advisory board, the notes were released last week, and within that they are asking for a Premiership-wide referees summit. Are they right now? just before we start.
When was the last one?
Well, do you know what I was going to say? Did you look back? I was looking back at it. I remember that, and I was just trying to check the date. So 7 years ago, McDermott Park, and were you standing outside? You might have been dispatched there, I don't know, waiting for them to come out after hours and hours. And do you know the biggest thing that came out of that meeting? A unanimous backing of VAR from the top flight managers. That was the top line. I think Neil Lennon was a designated spokesperson for the top flight managers. And what's everyone moaning about now? VAR, 7 years on, they want another summit to talk about VAR. So they wanted VAR, they've got VAR, and now we're back 7 years on. It just seems to be Scottish football in a nutshell, doesn't it? Just round and round and round. Summer football.
Yeah. After European exit, summer football, VAR, bring it.
Pitches, plastic pitches.
I don't know. I mean, what the shortest lived summit, I mean, they walk in the room and say, go on, you guys start making better decisions. Right, okay. And do the teams want, listen, it's the clubs, do they want to pay more money to improve the equipment? Do they want to pay for full-time officials?
Yeah.
Would that help?
Exactly. These are the things.
These are all things, and it always comes back to the same thing, which is...
And we don't do anything about it.
Do you want to spend the money?
Spend the money.
And Rangers are quite willing to spend money to improve the product. And I'd imagine, like a Celtic, perhaps Hearts now as would as well, Hibs maybe. A lot of the teams who are living hand to mouth can barely afford the current version of VAR and the pitches situation.
Yeah.
Are they going to vote to spend more money for, let's be honest, VAR has actually made, I know we're all guilty of getting wrapped up in the controversy, but the amount of decisions that are getting made now that are right has risen with VAR. It's gone from 90 to 96%. Unfortunately, the 4% is the one we still argue the toss about every week.
Yeah. Well, I noticed Willie Collins' VAR review show lasted half an hour last week. I mean, what does that tell you in itself?
That's
half an hour.
But again, VAR's not the problem. The people work with VAR the problem. They need to get better.
Yeah.
Listen, we need to improve the standards of the people who are operating with VAR. Yeah. The VAR's not great, but see the lines with the offsides and stuff like that. We could do with the Hawkeye automated thing where you get your nose offside and it comes up on the screen. But the people that make decisions have to improve. Which means that Willie Collum has to demand better, they have to do better training, better decision making. You hear some of the VAR audio, you're like, what are they talking about? Yeah. So it's the summit isn't going to it might put pressure on the powers to improve the standards. But I think they have in general got more decisions right. Just that they've got some a bit of mess times.
Well, very quickly, Willie Collum's quote when he got the job and replaced Crawford Allen, I was emphatic throughout the interview process. I want to improve with consultation and consensus the operation and delivery of VAR for all concerned. Mission accomplished.
Well, cut and paste, and we'll say it again. Get another summit.
Okay, let's move on. You're going to Hampden on Saturday, Michael, and I think you might be going down to Liverpool for a night out as well, no? Not for a night out.
For the game.
Sorry. So, double header, Japan and Ivory Coast. Japan on Saturday at Hampden, and Ivory Coast down at Everton Stadium. What do we want to see from these two games? What do you want to see?
Well, we don't need to see too much because we know what to expect from this Scotland team. We know what they're capable of. Most of this squad have been together for 3-4 years. They're tried and trusted. What I want to see is momentum to take out the World Cup, because the last Euros and the years before, we had a bit of a sticky patch of form going into the Euros with friendlies and didn't look that great.
Yeah.
And it didn't seem to have any momentum. I want to see a couple of good performances, maybe a couple of results. Two good teams, by the way. I'd like to see something jumping out. something different jumping out. And when we're talking about the likes of your Finlay, Curtis, and these kind of things, I want to see something that's going to give us food for thought. Like we've seen it before, but with Gannon coming onto the scene late. Billy Gilmore was a late burst into the squad a few years ago. I want to see something that's going to give us that wee bit of extra added dimension, especially in attack, to go to the World Cup. Because we know the rest of the squad. We know what they're capable of. We don't need to see. We don't need to find out what Andy Robertson bringing or John McGinn or Grant Hanley. We know these guys are what to do. We've done it over the years. We trust them. They've been heroic for us. Let's see what some of the guys in the fringes. Listen, let's be honest. Most of the squad is already picked. Most of the squad, unless there's injuries, I think, and hopefully get a few guys back. But can some of these guys in the fringes pop up and give us something to think about? That's what I want to see.
And also a strong performance maybe between the sticks, because this whole keeper situation, I'd love to see an outstanding.
Who's starting?
Well, I mean, the problem is the keepers aren't playing, are they? On Scott Bain.
So he's not in the squad.
It's Angus Gunn, isn't it, starting?
Right, so Angus Gunn with the start. Did you start Angus Gunn?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, Angus Gunn. I mean, I know he did a ropey wee spell. He's a top keeper, isn't he? I think that's an issue, isn't it, though? Do you think if Craig Gordon comes back to fitness, he's straight in the team again? He's also not played.
I think so. I think if he gets back to full fitness, Scott Bain is in.
Sorry.
Scott Bain is in the squad. Sorry, just to
Liam Kelly and Scott Bain.
Yes, sorry. So Liam Kelly and Angus Gunn not playing. Scott Bain. But I think I would probably start Angus Gunn. He's got.
Scott Bain's on a good season.
Yeah, yes. Well, we debated this before the Denmark game, didn't we?
Yeah.
About who should start. Obviously, Craig Gordon was the man, and it proved the right choice, didn't it? I think if Craig Gordon gets back and he's fit, I think he starts.
Yeah.
In the World Cup. You agree?
No. I think it depends how he is. I mean, it depends. He's got to play a few games. Can't go straight in. He's got to play a few games.
Okay.
I don't see him getting against the Hearts in the running, though. That's a problem.
Yeah. Well, that was to go on to the next question then, Michael. If a lot of Hearts players, Steve Clarke, in defending his decision not to pick the Hearts players, said that Hearts are greater than the sum of their parts. Mm-hmm. So does that mean that they aren't in the running for Player of the Year? Or, to ask you this question, if the season finished tomorrow, who would be your Player of the Year?
It's a tricky one because it's not been a season where there's somebody who has shone out like a beacon. I think you've got to look at Hearts. You've got to look at Claudio Braga, and Lawrence Shankland, Craig Halkett, and Harry Milne. They four might split a vote. I think.
Did you say Cammy Devlin?
Cammy Devlin,
possibly not.
Possibly, I just think Cammy Devlin, because I like my Player of the Year to be a creator rather than. I think Cammy Devlin's a bit of a spoiler. Listen, I'm not being disrespectful.
I know what you mean.
He's probably the best. He's probably the best spoiler in the league.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Great wee player, had a great season. I just think I like to see creative players winning these awards.
No, you're right.
I'm an old romantic.
Yeah,
Gav.
But I'm going to contradict you.
Give me here,
because I'm going to contradict you. I think a player that you mentioned, Harry Milne. I think. And when I was jotting them down, you're thinking Braga, exactly as you say, Braga and Shankland, and you've got Masmanisi at Motherwell that we spoke about a lot of the time as well. Obviously Motherwell fallen away a bit, and he'll suffer for that. But we're going on the basis that Hearts could win this league, and if they do, it's got to be Hearts player, surely. I just think Harry Milne's story, coming from the Championship, he's filled in a lot of different positions, versatility and that grit. And I just think it would be a great story. I know it doesn't fit with, like you say, you want a kind of flair player to probably.
Well, who's your candidate from Celtic and Rangers? We're also in the title race. Who's your Rangers candidate?
Well, I don't even know who the standout, who would be the standout player.
Raskin?
Raskin, yeah. Even then, he's not been. He hasn't. I don't think he's been brilliant at all. No, Raskin. No, I think it's a struggle.
I think Roman's come in January. He's been the best player for Rangers in the last 4 months. He's only played since January.
Well, exactly. You're not going to pick
Celtic. You Ben Negrin. Apart from that, I think you're struggling for Celtic.
But even then, he gets
slaughtered.
That shows you how bad it's been.
The best player in Scotland for me this season has been Elijah Just at Motherwell.
Oh, well, there you go then. It could be somebody from Motherwell, but
I think what I need to do this year is who would walk into every team in Scotland at this point in time. I think Braga would walk into every team in Scotland. I think Elijah Just would walk into every team in Scotland and on current performances. And I would say Shankland as well, walk into every team in Scotland. So those three are my three for the Player of the Year. And I would go with Elijah Just. I think he's a cracking player.
Yeah.
I think he's made Motherwell tick this season. he's levels above. I think he could go anywhere.
Yeah. Well, Celtic Rangers are interested.
Well,
certainly
Celtic missed. I mean, all that talk in January about Maspanisi, and they was getting directed the wrong way.
Yeah.
He's the one they should have went and got.
Yeah.
A terrific little player who's only, I think, he's going to get better. A wee bit of late bloomer. 25. He's got the World Cup with New Zealand. You'll not be able to get him in a year's time.
Yeah.
He'll be worth too much money. So I think Elijah Just my player of the year, or Braga.
Yeah.
Braga probably get him. That's the problem, isn't it?
Michael, I want to ask you the next one because it's a kind of area that's you kind of know well. A good story from our sister paper about a Celtic themed takeover of Albion Rovers, which could be getting closer. Do you think in that situation, obviously a historic club over 140 years, should the SFA step in, do you think, if these plans become more realistic and get a bit closer?
I think it's one they have to treat very carefully because Albion Rovers are a historic club when they're 150 years old or something, like 1882 or something like that. My local team, as well. I don't hold a grudge, despite the fact I went for a trial in 1995 and I get binned. And then I get castly dismissed. Didn't make the grade. And the year after me, a big chum of mine, Scott Shearer, who went to Albion Rovers and then on to have a fantastic career. Went to Rovers, to Coventry.
That's right.
He's played hundreds and hundreds of games in the English leagues through the years, Big Scott. And unfortunately, I ended up shuffling around the juniors for a couple of seasons and then into the Saturday morning pub leagues.
And then throwing them in for the press team.
And chucking them in for the press team. I was picking that up. One bad game. But anyway, that's more digression. Albion Rovers.
I thought you said you were a goalie, right?
Aye, but listen, the wee Rovers are, they're a small club, but they've got a big identity.
Yeah.
It's a shame to see them out the kind of main top SPFL, and I know in the low league and all that stuff. I'd love to see them back. So I like the fact that there's going to be people getting behind them. I'm a wee bit wary of the kind of tagging on at the Celtic thing. I don't think you need that.
Yeah.
Albion Rovers had always that kind of slight reputation. Give it a Coatbridge team, and obviously Coatbridge is a big Celtic town.
Yeah.
So you're going to get about that anyway.
Shamrock Rovers, Coatbridge.
No,
what kind of name would that be?
I think that's been kind of knocked in the head now. I don't think that's going to happen now. They're going to keep. I think they keep the name. The people who are trying to invest, sounds as though they're ambitious. But I would be wary of hanging on the Celtic coattails because I don't think you need to do that. I think it's a club on its own rights. I'd love to see it building.
Yeah. And you could
I'd love to see them back.
Alienate some fans. You could alienate.
You could do exactly. Who are Albion Rovers fans? They're not Celtic fans or Rangers fans.
It's not to say every Albion Rovers fan has a leaning towards Celtic.
Yeah.
And down south, I think Hull City tried to change their name 10 years ago to Hull Tigers or something, and the FA actually stepped in and vetoed it.
The SFA have got a duty to protect their clubs. And I think, protecting. I know they've had fallen hard times and it's been a struggle for them in recent years, but I'd love to see them rebuilding and to come back up the pyramid again as a unique individual club rather than a kind of a tribute act to another club. I don't like it.
No.
I must admit.
Well, Michael, if you had been successful in that trial, there might be a statue in Coatbridge of you to this day.
We did a lot of bronze for that one. It looked like a Desperate Dan one, it did.
Very good.
Desperate Mick.
But you were at the press conference earlier this week, plans to unveil a statue for Jim Craig.
Yeah, the campaign started.
Lisbon Line, very fitting. Which Scottish sports star do you think deserves a statue?
Right, we've got a few obviously dotted around the place. There's the Fergie one at Aberdeen, you've got Dennis Lott there, and obviously the ones at Rangers and Celtic, and a few others now popping up. Lisbon Lions are popping up. I think you've got to look at guys like Andy Murray. Is there an Andy Murray statue yet?
Well, no. He would be my pick. There is going to be one at Wimbledon in a couple of years, I think, to mark the 150th anniversary of the tournament.
Right.
But we need one here, don't we?
We need one here. I mean, Andy Murray, for me, is the most inspirational sportsman of our generation. Yes. I mean, a kid, we've seen it, I don't want to drag it down, but I've seen the documentary the other week about Dunblane. It's a kid who went to that school, was in that school at one of the darkest days in this country's history, to then go on and give us some of the greatest days in our history. I think Andy Murray is a living legend, and he deserves a statue. I mean, literally, like the Colossus of Rhodes. Like the 100-foot statue of Andy Murray to inspire all the kids. But otherwise, there's other ones. Stephen Henry.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how you do this. You've got a table on as well. Sandy Lyle.
Yeah. Chris Hoy.
Chris Hoy, I think Chris Hoy's another one inspirational figure for our.
The thing about Andy Murray, I know it's an obvious point, but it's the fact that he achieved it in one of the greatest eras for tennis. When Nadal and Federer, Djokovic, to win the majors that he did when these guys were about,
Is there Kenny Dalglish statue?
Well, there's there's a stands named after him. I was going to say no, down at Liverpool. I don't think there's a statue. I think the stands named after him. Right. I don't think there's a statue. So Kenny Dalglish, yeah.
Aye. What about Hot Shot Hamish? Well, but Desperate Dan's up in Dundee, isn't he?
Hot Shot.
I used to love Hot Shot Hamish when I was a kid. One of my great heroes. What was his wee pal called again? Remember Hot Shot Hamish and his wee chubby pal? Remember what was the wee guy called with the glasses?
I don't even try to Google it because that whistle's going to go.
Oh, what was he called?
I'll get it. You move on to the next one.
Hot Shot Hamish's wee pal. Oh, it'll come to me. I'm talking about the wee guy. Hot Shot Hamish to burst the net. His wee pal was running along next to him.
Mighty Mouse.
Mighty Mouse, that's the one.
Kevin Mighty Mouse.
Mighty Mouse was his wee pal. So a Hot Shot Hamish and Mighty Mouse statue. Get one of them, that'd be good. I lost it, Matt. Listen, we're going a bit daft, but it's international break, Gav. So
right.
Let's be honest. It's a time to kind of have a bit of fun anyway. So we're talking about statues and all that stuff. Here's another bit of fun for the last question.
Yeah.
And this will surely get the listeners talking and commenting. What is the best ever sports movie?
Sports movie. See, when you wrote this one down, Michael, do you know one of the first ones that came to me? I don't know if you remember it. But as soon as I read the question you're sending me, I thought back to the film The Champ.
Oh, The Champ! I don't.
Oh, you're not right good.
Don't
you were right good. Don't.
Oh God! I wish you hadn't mentioned The Champ. I actually feel myself welling up just now. Wake up, Champ! On the name of good. On the name, you're getting me away here. Even the thought of it.
Champ. That one out there. Sorry.
No.
Do you remember it?
I remember it. I'm traumatized by it. Wake up, Champ! Wake up! On the name of goodness. I mean, I genuinely there the moment I give my heartstrings get tweaked again there.
I don't know why that came to me yesterday. I was just racking my brains thinking about The Champ.
Oh, I remember I worked in a pub in East End years ago, and I started my shift, and I'd watched The Champ. The Sunday afternoon, I'd watched it. Jenny went to work, and I looked that upset, and people were like, "You okay, Mick? You all right? Something wrong?" I just watched The Champ. What about Happy Gilmore?
Oh, love it. I forgot about that one.
Happy Gilmore.
I never actually see that one. That's one of my all-time favourites. I liked actually that Diego Maradona one recently,
Yeah.
I know it's not a classic. It's not a classic yet, but I did like that. It was okay documentary, docu-film, whatever you want to call it. But I think Escape to Victory has to be. That is a classic.
Perhaps my favourite ever film, actually.
Big John Walk.
Rocky.
I know.
Rocky. Which Rocky?
2.
Rocky 2?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I like Rocky 3.
Oh,
that one, Mr. T. Remember?
Mr. T, yeah.
Mr. T was, I think, Rocky 3 is actually my favourite. Rocky 4 was a bit kind of a bit Trumpy even before Trump, wasn't it?
Rocky 5 when he takes Tommy Gannon.
I'm not. What about our Scottish classic? A Shot at Glory.
Oh, Shot at Glory, yeah.
Have you seen A Shot at Glory?
What about Jossie's Giants? I haven't actually.
You've never seen A Shot at Glory? Alan McCoist.
What about Jossie's
Celtic star Alan McCoist, or his name wasn't it Jamie McCulkin, but something like that.
I think it was
Jamie McCulkin.
Yeah,
is that right? Is that stuck in my head?
No, I think it is.
And recently departed. Robert Duvall was the manager with one of the worst Scottish accents.
But going back to Escape to Victory, it's funny. I remember going out to cover a game. It was Scotland Hungary friendly under Alex McLeish and in Budapest, and he was talking about how the last time he'd been in Budapest was with Scotland. They played an end of season friendly double header, I think, behind the Iron Curtain, and Jockstein had said they could hang around after it and be an extra in Escape to Victory.
Right.
And Alex McLeish declined. He said that was one of his biggest ever regrets. I didn't know actually it had been filmed in Budapest at that time.
Yeah.
That was news to me. So
a classic.
But obviously John Walk he was part of that Ipswich team. There was a handful of Ipswich players.
There was
about half a dozen.
Listen, Pelé, Bobby Moore, Ozzy Ardiles.
That overhead kick, Pelé.
But Hatch, we can win. Half time, remember they're going to get half time, but Hatch, we can win. Hatch was Sylvester Stallone. But the worst goalie than me.
But I just remember reading about Pelé doing the overhead kick. The director wanted to do it again. He's like, again.
that is probably my favourite film. Never mind favourite sports film, but there is loads. Cool Runnings. in there, Mighty Ducks.
Is that your favourite film of all time?
Slapshot. You know the Slapshot?
No.
Hockey? Oh, what's
No.
Slapshot? Not for
Is that your
not for
favourite?
the kids.
Your favourite film of all time? Yeah.
Skate to Victory?
Yeah.
Yeah. A pal of mine's been to the pitch where it was filmed. I think it's in Austria. It's in Austria rather than France. He's got the kit and all that stuff. He went down to see the actual scene of where they filmed the final match at it.
All
you
right.
can go in and visit it. Or you could do it back in the day.
Right.
So Escape to Victory is my favourite. I could
Oh,
quote you the film start to finish.
Oh, no,
That's how sad I am.
Sorry, it's a Wizard of the Voice for me.
Wizard of the Voice. We're back to Stephen Henry.
No,
that was John Higgins.
Wizard of the Wisher.
Wizard of the Wisher. Oh, sorry. We're back on the statues as snooker players. But anyway, enough of this nonsense. Listen, leave your comments, especially one about the film. That's a good one, isn't it?
Definitely.
Your favourite sports films is a good one.
And The Champ. See if anybody remembers The Champ.
Gav, don't bring up The Champ, honestly. You have me greeting in here. Well, we'll wrap it up at that point. We'll turn to my Japanese proverbs we started with. Ignorance is bliss, which probably sums up this show. But thanks for listening and watching. You can hit the subscribe button if you can, and your likes and subscribes. You catch the usual socials, YouTubes and Apple Podcasts and all the rest of your usual podcasting places. Thanks again to our sponsors, NordVPN. Check out the link below for discounts and you name it. And great offers in there. It's worth doing. And we'll catch you again next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.